Hi everybody. In this video tutorial, I'll discuss how to accomplish the test coverage during designing the test cases. It is very helpful to make sure all functionality of the module being covered into the test cases. So let's discuss a little bit about the application components and its module. So if you see here, there is an online shopping center, and its component are take an example like a car. So a car has engine, wheels, steering, brake, and gasoline. Similarly, if you consider a computer also has a major components, and each components depends on each other, such as processor, main memory, secondary memory, and input device and output device. So similarly, an application software or web-based application software, there is a few component like screen, database, interface, form, report, and batches, and there is a module like user. One screen has like a lot of module. Here is like an example: user profile, order, payment, tracking, shipment, and procedure, trigger, function. So all that combination is makes a one online application or desktop application. So as you see here, interface when they work, when it is need like okay, they want to send some information to third party system, and if they are like bringing some information or checking the credit, they need to have third party or the payment gateway. It's a lot of thing involved in one application. So in addition, the form same. So order form like PDF format, online form, order from like inventory. The report is like inventory report, sales report, invoice, and the batch. So there is a like batch kind of like daily batch, the combination of procedure, trigger, and so those is working fine. And in the daily batch, what will be like they consume the trigger and what procedure they'll call, so those is working fine. That need to be identified in the test scenario and make sure the test cover is in all test scenario being covered and into the test cases, all like component functionality that we'll discuss. So if I check here, like okay, in fact, I will not discuss all about it, but I will walk through you with the test coverage guideline. There are few technique and guidelines that most of the experience test associates know how and when they need to perform, like such as analyzing the requirements, identify the test scenario, and follow the test coverage guideline and its technique. So similarly here, the if you see there is an create an account like web form. So in this module, what are the scenario we can consider? So in this module, what we have to make sure that display functionality of this module and all link is working fine. Link functionality, like and then validate user able to view profile using after adding the information, and also we need to validate all field need can be entered and create an account. So this is the high level scenario we have to consider for this component. So here is like the test scenario, as I said, are high level classification of the test requirements group by the functional of a module. So if you see here, I have like requirement, okay, and the test scenario. If I by looking this only, like I'm just considering the requirement, and here the requirement I think validate GUI functionality of the user profile working according to the approved template and the functionality, and then validate user able to create profile and system save the entered information and user able to view the profile detail. So what are the component are here we need to include in this scenario? So first we have to make sure this component name user accounts as user accounts, like, and then user account and database and view profile. Here is a three component as I told, when user enter the information it should save into the database, and that information should view into the view using the view profile link or some other module that we have to make sure using that three components. So here is I'm saying the total test cases here 10 and test cases is 5, so that is this could be increase or decrease, but we'll come later on to discuss on it. So let's consider one sales report example. So before doing that, I need to discuss about the test coverage. What is the test coverage? Test coverage measures the amount of the testing performed for each component. So the key success of the test coverage is ensure the quality and prevent the defect leakage. So if we follow the test coverage guideline, hope your test phase will be accurate, traceable, economical, and appropriate. So each component has individual functional module. So as a tester, we have to make sure an individual component functions as expected. In addition, as a tester, we have to make sure the system working as a whole. Sorry. To perform the testing activities, there are few guidelines and process. Software testing through the like software testing lifecycle test plan is the key strategy that describe when, how, and what need to be tested. But I'm not discussing all. So let's discuss about the test coverage based on the test scenario for this screen and this sales report, and there is a PDF form. So what are the thing we need to cover is here. As you see, to there is a checklist we can consider screen title functionality. If I go here, like say here is a screen title, and in this screen title functionality, what we need to check, like screen name, link, button, and like checkbox. So then radio button, drop down list, and text field like rule, and all our text field has some business rule. So that we have to make sure. And like if any web table it is short rule, so those things we have to make sure. User in this application, in this component, there is a user action functionality. So user action functionality is like should able to enter, and user should able to edit, user should able to delete, like if your name is wrong he need to delete. User the some security, there is no security issue, like if it is for example if it is an user login, it should consider as a security issue, and also like access control, and a field should be enabled, and those things we have to consider in here. So some common functionality here, like trigger is consumed, like firing that error message. For example, if it is anything like mismatch, like okay, for example, this email has some certain rule, so like domain name and at the right sign. So if a user typing some other sign, and it should throw the error. So those are the functionality, the common functionality you have to make sure in this module. So once it create an account, click and it should save to the record into the database, and user again log in, user able to log into the system using user ID and password and can view the profile. So that is the main test we have to perform in here. So that is the thing, if it is covered, so that means our test case is accurate. So in addition, there is a a report. So in the report, what are the functionality you have to check? Form and report functionality. Like here, we have to make sure report header and footer, and we have to make sure design, layout, and placement, like auto generate, like there should be the current system date and how invoice number, like buyer name and to address buyer and transfer. So those information should, and from where it is populating, is that in belongs to the customer address table, so that there is a map file, and for this report is maybe is pulling data using the procedure. So we have to make sure and check that data design document from where it is this populating that record, that we have to make sure also in the, and all content like header footer, that make sure we need to make sure and cover into the test case. And there is a form, like same as form, it's a blank form. Sometimes you have to test only blank form, so that means the form contain like all information, like this is form for example some other organization need uh, need to send some information using the form, so they need to develop that their format, their template based on that, and it should print into the PDF format. So those things we have to validate into the test cases. So before that is the main thing, I'm trying to explain what is the test coverage guideline. So as I told, this is the coverage here already mentioned. So if you take a note, I think it will helpful to prepare a checklist during the test case preparation. And there is another procedural trigger. So like that procedure, like processing and consume, updating, deleting, bulk load, and into the column, data type, error log. So those information we have to validate when we are testing the procedure and trigger. So I hope this will help who are new into the testing world. And thanks for watching.